on the News Channel 5 network. This is OpenLine.
And welcome to OpenLine. Good show tonight. We are talking about that Antioch church shooting. We're going to delve into it a little more deeply tonight, and we can talk about some other things as well. But I'm very happy to have with us former Metro police officer, the owner of Academy Personal Protection. Let me get this right. Academy of Personal Protection and Security.
That's correct.
Buford Tune is with us. Buford, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for asking us.
Thank you for coming on, as always. All right, let's just start from the top. You saw this, the news come down on Sunday. What did you think?
We were shocked Sunday when we saw it come down. Let's mixed emotions, and I'm surprised we haven't had more with some of the publicity and the anti-publicity, the people where they want to throw this out there. But I was really shocked it hit as close to home as it did, right there in the middle of the Antioch community. And
the response from police, as a former police officer, it looks like they were right there. But what are your thoughts as you're watching all of that throughout the day?
It was a great response, especially on a slow Sunday afternoon. You don't expect a lot going on a Sunday afternoon. But it was a great response out of everybody from what I saw.
So where do you think this leaves churches now? As far as security, this is not what I would expect would be, the normal target. This was a pretty small church. It's in Antioch. I guess this guy had attended there a few years ago, is what I think I've read.
That's what I understand, yeah.
But we still don't fully know the motive, what he was thinking,
right.
What he was doing.
Right.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions about him in a moment, but what do you think this means for churches overall?
Well, for years since the active shooter stuff has been coming out, and we have a program that we teach. It's active shooter / intruder, because if you stop and look at it, it's not necessarily a shooter as much as it is now they're driving through buildings with trucks and cars. They're coming in with machetes, knives, and everything else. It's hard to make people understand that they have to really be proactive instead of reactive. Everybody wants to think it's not going to happen here. We're a small community, it's not going to happen. Well, these fools look for the easy target. They don't look for the hard target. They look for the easiest one that they can go in, do what they're going to do, and get out. If that's what they want to do, or maybe it's basically go in and do what they've got to do, kill as many people as they can, and they know they're not coming out, so they're going to do what they got to do to make their name for themselves. So
this suspect is Emanuel Samson. It's Emanuel Samson.
Correct.
You're right, Emanuel Samson. You had seen him.
Yes.
He had been. He had been in one of your classes.
Yeah, that Friday.
The days before the shooting.
Right.
So what do you remember about him?
He was very cordial. He was nice. It was yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. There was nothing outstanding about him other than he was big. Yeah, great big old guy. He sat in the class, he answered the questions, he took part in the class. He even, we had one person in there that was having a little cell phone problem. Wouldn't stay off of it. And my office manager, Teresa, she went over and had to correct him to stay off the phone. And he spoke up and kind of, yeah, man, you need to pay attention, stay off the phone, or something to that effect.
So, all right, how large is this class? And how many hours is it? Give me this was on Friday, the shooting happened Sunday, but how many people are in this class?
We've had about 30 in the class.
And what are you going over?
This is just all your rules, regulations, and laws, the do's and the don'ts that allows you to be an unarmed security officer in the state of Tennessee.
So this is not how to shoot. You're not doing target practice or anything like that?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, really. You're going over how to be an unarmed security guard.
Correct.
So what are some of the things you talk about?
Oh, it's, you know, the do's, the don'ts, the how to conduct yourself, how to deal with people, the laws, what they allow you to do, what you can't do. Don't be a thug yourself. Just be cordial, be nice. And we cover all the state laws that govern security officers, arrest procedures and powers and stuff like this.
And how did he come to be in that class?
He was working for, he'd applied to go to work for another security company up in Laverne. And of course, you know, he came in, they hired him, or not, well, they didn't hire him. They had put him through the classes, and they were in the process of hiring him. And based upon him passing everything, passing the background check, passing the drug testing and everything. And then once they did that, then they'd put him to work.
So this is a guy you spent hours with him, several hours.
About almost 8 hours.
You spent 8 hours with him on Friday. Is there any indication this?
None.
He's unhinged?
No, absolutely none. I mean, it was when we heard about it Monday morning is when we were sitting there going through the paperwork, and we saw the name, and we're going, oh my God, there he is. And then, because I kept looking at the videos and the pictures going, I know this guy from somewhere, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together until Monday morning when we saw the paperwork.
And so what do you take from that?
I was shocked. I was just surprised. Of course, this is not the first one we've had over the years that has gone the bad way and had the dark side come out in them after taking the classes. But you don't know. You never know. You don't know what's in the heart or the mind of anybody that's there.
Well, that's astounding. Have authorities talked to you? Is there any reason?
Not yet, but I have sent them the information that, you know, the information that we had on him as far as the application, the personal information. I'm sure they've already got it, but we've already volunteered the information anyway.
News that came out today from Metro Police, they said Samson bought a 22 caliber semi-automatic pistol found in his SUV. He bought that in December of 2015. A relative purchased 3 other guns, an AR-15 rifle, a 40 caliber semi-automatic pistol, between 2014 and 2016. A relative bought those and gave them to him for safekeeping.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had 4 guns total, 1 he bought, and then 3 others that were given to him. What do you think about all of that?
Really, there's nothing really outstanding about it. You know, I know people that have got level heads have got more than that. There's some collectors and everything. There's nothing else. You know, he bought the guns legally. The guns were there in his possession legally, so he was no prohibited person, so there's nothing there that I can see.
He didn't have a carry permit.
No.
And that doesn't impact this in any way,
no,
right?
No, it does not.
Yeah. So, I mean, the takeaway here is we just don't know again.
That's correct.
It's just disturbing.
That's correct.
And have you heard anything else that sheds light on a motive here?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. From what I've been dealing with and talking to, and the people I've been talking to, they're still kind of trying to figure out what his motive was. The words and the message and the jibber jab that he had on his Facebook page. If you go look at his Facebook page, it was started out, I mean, he talked kind of sensible in some of his posts, and then the last couple of days it was kind of coded type stuff. I was reading one of his last ones, and I'm going, what does that mean? So it just, you know, you could see that there was something happening there, but okay, maybe he had too many beers or something. Who knows what his problem was? There'd
be no, it seems like there's almost no way to have foreseen this.
No, this one I can't see, unless there has been somebody, a friend of his, a relative, his fiance, or somebody that he had said something to that just didn't say anything.
Now, others you think it's easier to foresee something like this?
Oh yeah, in some cases, if you go back and look at the little punk in Carolina that walked into the church and killed all the people in there, one thing that we try to stress in our active shooter programs that we teach is if you pay attention to the people that you're around. If you see or hear somebody and they're talking crazy, report it. I don't care if it's your brother, your uncle, your sister, or who it may be. You may save their life and a lot of other lives, because if you go back and look at just about every one of these shooters that's out there, every time you have something come up, okay, all of a sudden you got people coming out of the woodwork going, well, I saw him talking about this stuff and I didn't think he was serious. Okay.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Everybody says that. Okay, to me, if I call you Ben and say, Ben, I've been thinking about crazy stuff, and I'm just tired of this stuff. I'm gonna start shooting people and stuff like this, and you don't say anything to anybody about it. To me, you're just as guilty as that shooter for getting these people killed, because you could have stopped it. I
think sometimes people worry, is that enough to bother the police? The police are busy. So and so was having a bad afternoon, and it depends on how far he goes with what he's saying.
Right.
But at what point do I bother the police?
Yeah, and that's the thing that people got to get in their head is, would you rather just bother them, or would you rather wake up the next morning and say, God, I wish I'd have made that phone call?
Mm-hmm.
So, take the information that you got, give it to the police, let them sort through it. Homeland Security, federal people, all these people, they can take the words and look at this, and they can, nothing else, send a car over and knock on somebody's door and say, hey man, you okay?
Police do welfare checks.
Yes, all the time.
All the time,
all the
right?
time.
Welfare check is just, is so-and-so okay?
Exactly.
And that's maybe what this would be.
It could very easily have been. And if I'm not mistaken, I think didn't his father called the police in Murfreesboro somewhere and said he was not acting right and sent him over there?
Yeah, I think so. Right. There you go.
Yep.
Before we go to break, let's take Angela. Hello, Angela.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Okay, let me ask you, and I'm watching you right now on TV.
Thank you.
The question that I have is this: whether or not the police are investigating or arresting the relative who gave him the 3 or 4 other guns. And that's my first question.
Right, okay.
And whether or not the gentleman in the yellow shirt thinks that was okay, because he seems to be condoning the purchase and the transfer of guns to somebody like Mr. Samson, who did not have a permit. That was not okay, and a lady is dead.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Angela. Let's go through that. A relative purchased these guns and was questioned by the police.
It was questioned and cleared.
The relative has been interviewed by law enforcement. They were given to Samson for safekeeping. He bought the first one in 2014, then 2 others in August of 2016. So this is some time. It wasn't like it was the weekend before.
There's absolutely nothing, and you can bet your last buck that the police have investigated these people the guns have come from. You can bet it that that's how it is. Not only the police, I can promise you the ATF has been up to it to your neck dealing with it. But there's nothing really to condone or to deny here. There has been no state or federal law violated that I have seen keeping, if I wanted to give a gun to this lady that just called, if I wanted to give her a firearm, there's nothing, unless I knew that she was a prohibited person from owning a gun, then I would be in violation for doing that. But there's no law been broke. So she can say I'm condoning or whatever, but there's no law been violated, so I don't know what to expect on that.
She seized on, and I appreciate the question, the fact there was no carry permit.
Right, that has nothing to do with the carry permit allows you to carry the gun in public only as a citizen after you go through the training classes and so forth. Has nothing to do with you owning a gun for your home. That's the laws, and I'm sorry if people don't like the laws, they need to get them changed.
All right, we're going to take a break. It does raise all kinds of questions. Heidi and others, if you're on the line, hold on. Well, in fact, I know you're on the line, so do hold on, please. If you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.